up, Epic fam? Welcome back to another great episode of Epic Mindset. But before we get into this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Now, vision is extremely important with any endeavors we face in life. Because without it, we couldn't see where we're going. Almost none of us would drive a vehicle if we didn't have any vision. Yet and still, most people go through life without any vision or any plan. So what do I mean by that? Most people are not intentional about setting goals for their lives. And what's more important than having a vision for your life? That's why I had to make this video about being intentional with your goals. Every New Year's Eve, or close to it, a lot of people love to set goals, or New Year's resolutions. Some of them might be fitness goals, personal development goals, or you name it. Few people actually write them down, but the majority of people just keep it memorized in their heads. Then, when it comes toward the end of the year, they're frustrated with themselves, or they make themselves believe it's fate because they didn't accomplish the goals. But let me tell you a story about someone that encouraged me to set goals. There was a lady I used to work with in a retail store like 15 years ago. Her name was Charlene Holman. Every single break, I would see her carrying a Bible and a spiral notebook that looked like a dictionary. Then she would always go to the back of the break room and start writing stuff down in her notebook and reading her Bible. After 2 months of watching her do the same thing while I was complaining on the job and gossiping with my coworkers, I decided to confront her. And I said, "I'm not trying to be nosy, but what do you write about?" Then she said, "These are my dreams. This is my vision and goals." And it's funny now, but I feel sorry for her because I felt like she was wasting time and a lot of paper. And I didn't understand how important goals were. Then in the next breath, she asked me, "Do you have any visions for your life?" And I said, "Yeah, not to work at this job anymore." "So how are you going to accomplish that? And do you have anything written down anywhere?" she said. I told Charlene, "I'm just going to look for another job and I don't need to write stuff down because I'm able to remember things." Then she said, "Brandon, everybody should have a vision for their life. And living your life without a vision is a terrible way to go through life. Look, here's some of my goals. I'm going to start a nonprofit organization. I'm going to purchase a Cadillac Escalade. And I'm going to write a book that's going to help a lot of people." And she looked 100% convinced that all of her goals were going to become reality. I would love to tell all of you that I decided to listen to Charlene that day and not be stubborn. But the truth is, it took me 7 years before I understood how important goals were. Then I found out a couple of years later that Charlene had a book published. And the name of the book is How to Save 1,000 with a Simple Plan. And it's a really good workbook, and you're able to purchase it on Amazon. So make sure you all check that out. How safe or reassured would you feel if you were purchasing a home and you knew the contractors that were building your home didn't have a blueprint or a plan? Their plan would be just to wing it as they go. How compelled would you be to make that investment? Because a home is a major investment, especially if it's a home that you plan on spending the rest of your life in. But what about the investment of reaching your full potential in life or getting everything you want out of life? If you ask me, that investment seemed just as important as an investment on a home. So we're gonna get ready to create our goals. Whenever you're creating your goals, treat them like they're worth all the money in the world, because these are your dreams and these are gonna become reality. If they're gonna become reality, you have to write them down. But don't write them down like a New Year's resolution one time a year. Make sure you write them down on a daily basis. So write goals, and below goals, write down your goals. But don't write them down in future tense like they didn't happen yet. Write them down in the past tense or the present tense, as if you accomplished them already. Then put an expiration date on said goal. I'll use 2 of my personal goals as an example. So my goal is to lose 20 pounds. When I write down that goal, I don't want to write, I will lose 20 pounds. I write down, I lost 20 pounds. And then I add a date to that. And my next goal, I want to be a millionaire. So I'm not gonna write, I will be a millionaire. Instead, I put, I am a millionaire. And I add a date to that one too. And I wanna shout out Grant Cardone, because in his book, 10X Rule, he talks about how he sets his goals to past tense and present tense. And I wanted to make sure I gave him credit for that piece of information. It has helped me tremendously. And make sure you check out that book. This process allows you to get more intentional with your goals. Some days it's gonna feel pointless. You're gonna feel like writing anything down, but you gotta make sure you write it down anyway. So make sure you're writing down all the things that you want to come to life, because what doesn't get written down doesn't happen. So be intentional with your goals and be consistent. I've noticed the difference in my personal life from the time I didn't set goals to the time I did set goals. And the difference is that I was able to achieve more of my goals when I actually set goals. 6 years ago, I had a goal of purchasing a home. So I would write down this goal every day along with my other goals. And at the time, I was living in my car and sometimes hotels. Yet I was still being consistent with writing down my goals. My present situation did not match my future situation. That's why it's so important to write down your goals every day, because it took my focus off my present situation and allowed me to focus on my future, which got me excited. So I went and spoke to a realtor about purchasing a home. And that realtor told me that I needed to get my credit score up to qualify for the FHA loan. So what do you think I added to my goals the next day? Getting my credit score up, right? After 11 months, I was able to get my credit score up. Long story short, that goal became a reality. And I was able to purchase me a home in Kingwood, Texas, March 2020, the day right before the government started requiring everybody to quarantine in their homes. I feel my skeptic right now because I used to think like them, and it probably sounds like this. B-Himes, I hear what you're saying, and a lot of people talk about setting goals, but I think it's one of those things that sounds good to say, but you actually don't need to do. Plus, I've accomplished plenty of goals in my life, and I didn't need to waste time writing it down or setting a goal. Let's hypothetically assume that you weren't able to achieve any of your exact goals using the techniques that I spoke of. Wouldn't it be better to be extremely close to that goal as opposed to being stationary and nowhere near close to that goal? Let me put this in another perspective. So, if I put you in front of a free throw line and I gave you 100 shots and I said, oh, by the way, I'm paying you $10,000 for every shot you can make out of 100. Would you rather take those shots blindfolded or without the blindfolds? Because you could probably make a couple shots blindfolded. However, you would definitely make more shots without the blindfolds. And that's all I'm trying to do this video, is help everyone to see the advantage they have in life when they are intentional about their goals. Be like Charlene and consistently write down your goals. And don't be stubborn like I was and let 7 years go by before you understand how important goals are. Also, understand that the majority of successful people, dead or alive, set goals. So why shouldn't you? Last but not least, when you are intentional with your goals, not only do you get the things you want out of life, but you build your character too. Thank you for watching the whole video. And if you feel like this video benefited you in any way, make sure you give me that support and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you on the next episode.